You wake up in the morning, slowly swing your legs off the bed and stand up, but something feels off. Your knees wobble a little, the soles of your feet feel stiff. You reach for the dresser, not because you're dizzy, but because your legs don't feel ready to hold you yet. Maybe you tell yourself it's just aging, that you didn't sleep right, that the floor feels colder than usual, but deep down part of you wonders, why do my legs feel weaker lately? You're not alone in this. Many people over 65 begin to notice a slow creeping change in their lower body strength. It's not always dramatic. It can be subtle. You hesitate before standing. You avoid long walks. Or maybe you just don't trust your legs like you used to. But here's something most people don't know. The food you eat, especially the type of nuts you choose, might be silently helping or hurting your strength. Nuts are often praised as healthy, full of protein, fats, fiber, but not all nuts are created equal. And after 65, your body becomes a little more sensitive, more reactive. That means some nuts can support your bones' balance and energy, while others might quietly drain your strength without you even realizing it. Let's start with a hero, walnuts. They're not just heart healthy, they help reduce inflammation in the joints. That ache in your knees, that stiffness in your ankles. Walnuts carry compounds like omega-3 says that soothe internal swelling, which can make movement feel smoother again. Try a small handful a day, no salt, no sugar coating, just raw, clean support. Then there's almonds, light, crunchy, and loaded with magnesium, a mineral most seniors don't get enough of. Magnesium is like a gentle electrician for your body, helping with muscle function, nerve communication, and even blood sugar stability. If you've ever felt shaky, tired after walking, or had sudden leg cramps, low magnesium might be part of the reason. But then, there are the wrong ones. Salted peanuts, for example. Common, affordable, addictive. But here's the problem. Peanuts aren't really nuts, they're legumes. And the salted versions are often packed with sodium, oils, and additives that cause water retention and joint pressure. They give you a quick bite, sure, but they often leave you bloated, swollen, or aching later on. And what about candied pecans? They seem innocent, a holiday treat, maybe a little sweet crunch during the day. But those sugar-coated nuts spike your blood sugar, inflame your body, and can lead to more stiffness, not less. Over time, they wear on your knees, your hips, and your energy levels. Here's a simple tweak to start your day right. Instead of grabbing a snack that leaves you drained, try making a small trail mix with walnuts, almonds, and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. No extra salt, no sweeteners. Your legs might not feel stronger overnight, but within a few days you might feel more sure-footed when you stand up. And that's not magic. That's the body finally getting what it needed. It's also about when you eat. Did you know that nuts earlier in the day give your body fuel to stay stable and strong? But the same snack at night could interfere with your sleep or digestion. Morning or mid-afternoon is best. That's when your body is asking for help. That's when it can use it most. And here's something that might surprise you, that heavy-legged feeling after a meal. It's not just aging. It could be a reaction to how your body is processing fats and sugars, especially if you've eaten processed or roasted nuts coated in vegetable oils. Your body wasn't made to process that much fake fat. It slows down. It resists. But the beautiful part is, it also remembers how to come back. Because when you give your body clean fuel, it doesn't just survive, it starts repairing, rebuilding, realigning. Your body isn't giving up on you. It's simply been waiting for you to notice. And maybe you're noticing now. Maybe that soreness in your thighs isn't just physical. Maybe it's the weight of being tired, of feeling like you're slowing down, and you don't know why. Maybe your body is whispering something your mind hasn't had time to hear. Because sometimes the body feels heavy, but it's the mind that's carrying the weight. Have you ever stood in a room, looked around, and forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you're mid-sentence telling a story you've told 100 times before, and suddenly the word disappears. It was just there, right on the tip of your tongue, but now silence. If that's happened to you, take a deep breath. You're not losing your mind. You're receiving a message. You see, the brain isn't failing you. It's feeding back. It's letting you know something's out of rhythm. Maybe your sleep has been shallow. Maybe your meals have lacked certain nutrients. Maybe the pressure you carry silently, day after day, is finally starting to show. And just like with your legs, Not all foods support your brain the way you think. Some of the very snacks we reach for, because they seem healthy, can quietly cloud our memory, slow our thoughts, and drain our focus. Let's go back to those nuts, cashews. They taste creamy and soft, and they feel like a treat. But here's the catch. Cashews are high in omega-6 fatty acids. And while your body needs a balance of omega-3 and omega-6, most people over 65 already get too much omega-6, and not nearly enough omega-3. The result? Inflammation. Brain fog. That groggy, slow-motion feeling you sometimes get around mid-morning or after lunch. Now contrast that with Brazil nuts. Just one Brazil nut a day gives your body a powerful dose of selenium, an antioxidant that helps protect your brain from oxidative stress. Think of it like wiping the fog off a mirror. It doesn't solve everything, but it gives your mind a clearer reflection to work with. And here's something else. Your gut and your mind talk all day long. Scientists call it the gut-brain axis. So when you eat heavily processed nuts, like honey-roasted mixes with artificial flavors and dyes, you're not just feeding your belly, you're confusing your brain, you're clouding your thoughts before you even open your mouth to speak. But your brain is resilient. It's waiting for clarity. Try this tomorrow morning. Do a little ritual. No phone, no distractions. Just sit quietly with a warm drink, maybe tea or plain water with lemon, and eat 3 almonds, 1 walnut, and a Brazil nut. Slowly. Chew with intention. Breathe while you do it. It sounds small, but your brain feels it. You're sending a message, I'm still here. I still care. And your mind will respond in kind. There are other ways too to refresh your mental rhythm. You could play a simple word puzzle after breakfast, not to challenge yourself, but to gently wake up the language centers in your brain. You could hum an old song while washing your face. You could breathe slowly and deeply before checking the news. Even the act of naming how you feel in a moment, tired, fuzzy, restless, calm, can bring your brain back into alignment. But here's a quiet truth most people don't say out loud. It's not always memory loss. It's not always cognitive decline. Sometimes it's emotional weight. Have you noticed it lately? That pause, that small delay, that something feels off moment. You're not broken. You're carrying more than you realize. If you feel comfortable, share a small moment in the comments. A time you forgot something simple, or a time you caught yourself mid-thought and smiled, realizing you're still trying, still learning. You never know who might read your story and feel less alone. Because here's what the brain can't always fix. It can't heal what the heart has been holding. And maybe, just maybe, that forgetting isn't about age. It's about a memory that lives too deep to name. A person you miss, a version of you that's trying to come back. And that's where we'll go next. To the quiet part of you that still aches, that still remembers, that still wants to feel whole again. There's a kind of tiredness that sleep doesn't fix. You can eat well, stretch your legs, even clear your mind for a while, but deep down there's something heavier. It sits behind your ribs. It shows up on quiet afternoons when no one calls, or in the middle of a sunny day when a memory brushes by and leaves a sting behind your eyes. Maybe it's not just about nuts. Maybe it never was. Maybe part of why your legs feel weaker, your mind slower, your energy lower, is because your heart's been carrying something quietly for years. You've lived through so much. You've watched people come and go, some left by choice, others by time, and some, without warning. You've held it together, smiled when you had to, stayed strong when everyone else fell apart. But where do you go to fall apart? Where does all that feeling go? No one teaches us how to grieve the little losses. The version of you that could jog up the stairs, the person who used to sit across the dinner table, the routines, the rhythms, the roles that once made life feel full. It's okay to admit that sometimes you feel invisible, not ungrateful, just unseen, not unloved, but maybe forgotten in the noise of everyone else's life. And that pain, it doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just slows you down. You might not realize it, but emotional weight can affect your appetite. It can change how your body digests food, how you absorb nutrients, how your muscles hold tension. That's why certain nuts, especially the sugary processed flavored ones, can feel like comfort in the moment but leave you emptier afterward. They spike and crash, just like feelings we haven't faced. So what can help? Try this. Speak aloud, even when you're alone. Especially when you're alone, say something you've never said before. It might sound silly at first, but your heart has been waiting to hear your voice again. Or take 5 minutes to hold a memory in silence. Close your eyes. Picture someone you miss, not to mourn them, but to thank them, to visit them in your way. You could also write something no one else will read. A letter to someone you lost, or to yourself at a different age. You don't need perfect words, just honest ones. And here's a small act of kindness you may not have tried in a while. Do something for yourself and only yourself. Not for health, not for chores, not for anyone's approval, just a little moment that says, I'm still here, and I still matter. Maybe you've been carrying so much for so long that you forgot how to rest. Let your heart rest, even for a moment. You might want to go back and hear that again, not because you missed it, but because it mattered. And when your heart begins to feel just a little lighter, a little less alone, something surprising can happen. You begin to wonder what comes next. Not with fear, but with curiosity. What's still left to create, to enjoy, to shape, because you're not just looking back anymore. You're beginning to look forward. And that's where we go next. To the part of you that still has time, still has choice, still has years left to make new memories. If you could shape the rest of your life with your own hands, what would it look like? Would peace feel like quiet mornings with no rush? Would it feel like walking without fear of falling? Maybe it's a kitchen that smells like memories, or a walk outside where every step feels strong and sure. Here's the truth. Most people won't say out loud. You still have time to shape what's ahead. No matter what's behind you, your future isn't finished. And small choices today, like the ones you've already started making, can gently redraw the path forward. It might begin with something simple, walking after meals. This single habit helps with digestion, blood sugar, joint mobility, and even emotional calm. It doesn't have to be far, just a few minutes outside, or even around your home. It's less about the steps and more about the message you send your body. I'm still in motion, I still choose life. Or consider a morning or evening reflection. Sit down with a warm drink and ask yourself, what did I enjoy today? What drained me? What would I like more of tomorrow? These aren't routines for productivity, they're rituals for peace. You're not trying to do more. You're learning to feel more, and that's its own kind of strength. And here's something that might surprise you. Your body and mind both respond to letting go of perfection. You don't need the perfect diet, or the perfect memory, or the perfect energy level. You just need consistency in love, consistency in kindness, to your joints, to your thoughts, to your heart. Remember how we talked about nuts earlier? Choosing the right ones isn't about being good or bad. It's about listening to what your body craves, not for comfort, but for healing. And when you combine healing foods with healing thoughts, something beautiful begins to unfold. That beauty can become a rhythm, a life where you don't rush anymore, where every choice feels a little more intentional, a little more kind. That rhythm may include a slow breakfast with walnuts and warm tea, or a mid-afternoon stretch while your favorite music plays, or saying no without guilt and yes without fear. Because it's not just about living longer, it's about living lighter. It's about becoming someone who radiates calm, not because nothing hurt, but because you learned how to carry the weight differently. And this is where legacy begins. So I'll ask you something deeply personal. What's one thing you hope someone remembers about you? Just one thing. A trait, a moment, a feeling. Write it down below in the comments. Don't overthink it, just write what rises, because your words might mean more than you think. Not just to you, but to someone else scrolling quietly, looking for a sign that they still matter. Sometimes we think legacy is about big things, money, names, achievements. But maybe the most important thing you ever pass on is how you made others feel. A calm voice, a safe hug, a word of truth when someone was falling apart. That's your power, and it's still alive in you. And now, we come home, to the present moment, to the breath in your lungs, to the life you're living right now. Right now, as you listen, take a slow, steady breath. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw loosen just a little. And notice the quiet around you. This moment, right here, is yours. Not borrowed, not left over. Yours. You've listened through thoughts about food, reflected on moments of forgetfulness, touched places in your heart you don't always speak of. You even looked into your future with curiosity and strength. But here's what matters most. You're still here, still becoming, still allowed to begin again today. Not next week, not after the test results, not once everything feels perfect. Now, maybe you're holding a warm mug. Maybe you're sitting near a sunny window. Maybe you're simply breathing and realizing you hadn't paused all day until now. These are not small things. These are anchors. So many people rush through life looking for big answers. But sometimes healing starts with watching the sunlight flicker on a nearby wall, smiling, even if no one's around to see it, saying something kind to yourself like, "I'm doing better than I thought." That's strength. Quiet, ordinary strength. Even the foods we eat can become part of that strength. If we listen, you now know which nuts to reach for: walnuts to soothe your joints, almonds for gentle energy, Brazil nuts to sharpen your focus, and pumpkin seeds to nourish your balance. And you also know which ones to leave behind: salted peanuts that spike your pressure, honey-roasted mixes that cloud your system, cashews in excess that throw off your brain's clarity, and candied pecans that leave your body inflamed. These aren't just nutrition tips, they're small acts of self-respect. So take a moment, right now, to ask yourself, what's one thing you'll do today, just for you? It doesn't need to be loud or long. Maybe you'll step outside for a few breaths of fresh air. Maybe you'll prepare a small plate with nourishing snacks and sit with it in peace. Maybe you'll speak someone's name out loud, someone you haven't said aloud in years, just to keep them close. Because every part of your life is whispering the same thing. Your body spoke, your mind listened, your heart softened, your future opened, and now you're here. Still becoming, still worthy of joy. You're not done, you're just getting started. If this video gave you even one moment of calm, one breath of peace, or one reason to reflect, leave a comment below. Tell us what's one small thing you'll do today, just for you. And if you think someone else might need to hear this, someone older, someone tired, someone still trying, like, share and subscribe. Because healing doesn't always look like medicine. Sometimes it looks like a voice, a reminder, a pause. And that's what we just shared together.